Alright, we are doing a crossover with another intellectual property that's not mine. I hope the franchise likes it, or I don't know. Forgive me, I haven't really ever played Doctor Who, and I maybe watched Doctor Who 15 years ago. Maybe, no, that's not true. I saw some Peter Capaldi episodes some years back. Some Christmas specials. Not even conversant in the franchise, just so you know. But Azathoth mentioned him. So, Azathoth, whatever Azathoth wills. Whatever Azathoth wills. Oh. I need the right voice. Hold on.
What had she done to him? Was it her? How could she have managed such an act? Surely not. That was impossible.
Take two. Oh, wait, hold on. Wrong voice. Habits. No. Sorry. Very clumsy beginning. There we go. No.
The doctor, as played by Peter Capaldi, sat alone in his study, thinking. He had been coming up with reasons, excuses, justifications, and outright lies as to why he wasn't visiting more often, why he wasn't talking to people, why he hadn't called or taken holidays. There were so many things wrong with the way he had been living. For the sake of something greater, though, he had decided that it was time to get his act together. He had an appointment to keep with the Cybermen in the Tardis. He walked along the shore, taking in the cool air. The sun shone overhead, birds sang. It was a perfect summer's day, but none of that really mattered to him. It was clear that the other two members of his crew didn't care either. was the perfect moment for Azathoth with the purpling pan flutes and stripped clubs of infestations pierce the bundle between dimensions and make my entrance to meet the good doctor. Doctor, I said. The doctor looked at me. I take it you brought us a gift. Indeed, we have traveled far. The trip has been long and treacherous, but we have found something that will save you from the darkness. A secret weapon to defend yourselves against the onslaught of the evil you know as the Cybermen. Is that right? The doctor asked, "What is it?" I'd opened my robe, revealing a ball of fur that swam around inside me, gasping for breath. "Do you know what this is, Doctor?" "I'm afraid I cannot see beyond your abundant torso. There is something moving around in there," the doctor said, unfazed. I pulled away the furs, revealing what seemed like a little pink monster with webbed paws and a mouthful of teeth. "The TARDIS is over there." I pointed to the blue box that the doctor had used so many times to travel through space and time. "Take them inside." I looked to my left. In the distance, the walls of a building were coming together. It would be a Cyberman stronghold soon. I glanced back at the doctor and his companions. They were confused. I repeated myself. "Take them inside, Doctor." Yes, yes, of course. "Well, you're gonna let them out, so we can guide thee in the TARDIS." "No, you get in. You'll have to be quick about it. This planet is about to fall to the Cybermen. If they notice the TARDIS, you're doomed." I wasn't sure if the doctor believed me or not, but he decided to take a risk. The three of them walked into the TARDIS. The door slammed shut, locking them in. There was an awkward silence for a moment before I heard the sound of scratching on the inside of the door. "What was that?" the doctor asked. "Oh my God, it's scrabbling on the outside of the door." was a gift, but assumed he had to enter his belly to retrieve it. Does he not know he is in England? We don't have evisceration protocols. Doctor! That's no way to talk to Azathoth. He's just a silly little imaginary being. He isn't real. I explained. But how am I supposed to get back to Earth from here? My TARDIS is gone. I have to go home so I can have my cake and eat it too. Doctor, you're home. The TARDIS has always been inside me. This is just a part of the TARDIS that you haven't seen before. The doctor began to bang on the door. You must let me out, you demon. Demon. I smoldered, but decided to give him the spiel. You do not know who you speak to. How elderly this elder god is. No. Well, let me tell you, I am not some power-hungry beast, toying with the lives of people. I am not the leader of the axolotls of Zacapoxla. I am not the Demogorgon. Demogorgon? The doctor asked. It is what is known as the demon of old. Oh, a demon. That sounds scary. Maybe we could stop this invasion by summoning a few more demons. You know not of the true meaning of demon. Demons are not something conjured up on your whim. You do not need to call anyone else here. Yes, I'm not quite sure what you mean, but if you know how to help us, please do so. It would be a terrible shame if everyone on Earth died because the Tunties went on a holiday. Why would you think I would know anything of the Turkeys? I don't know what that is. I pause, trying to understand the question. That blue box thing you use to travel through space and time. The Tardies. That is a strange name for it. You do not call it a Tardies here. Haven't you are the one who wanted to give me a gift? That means you know me. You probably forgot what you were speaking about, haven't you? The doctor glared. Fine, whatever. You look back at me. Please let me out, Azathoth. I I considered my options. I had to find a way to get back to Earth from here, but I couldn't leave until the Cybermen were dealt with. I had an idea. The TARDIS is here, Doctor, I said. Look around. There's nowhere for it to go. I was right. That TARDIS could only move through dimensions that it had been previously to. I was not going to let the Doctor out until he killed the Cybermen. If he didn't, all of humanity would die. Let me out of here, Azathoth. The Doctor shouted. The Doctor is trapped in a dimensional pocket with no exit, I told them. But the TARDIS is in the same place. They can't move. The Cybermen are waiting for it to come down, though, which will take them a while to reach. As soon as they get there, you'll see a mass of Cybermen advancing upon the TARDIS. This is your chance, Doctor. You must kill them. I will try. Just need to get my fighting snuff. Hold on. The Doctor rummages through some boxes. Doctor, no more games. I hissed. If I knew about Earth's time, why wouldn't I help them? Surely the future will benefit from some ancient Earth civilization still thriving. The Doctor gave me an angry look, as if trying to penetrate through the dimensional membrane between our dimension and wherever the TARDIS was being trapped, and said, wherever the TARDIS is, I'd better be out soon, and just started banging away. I watched as the door began to chip away, some sort of weapon of freedom working its way down. But soon enough they got their act together and threw the Cybermen. By far the worst things that night were they'd ever encountered outside the door. The creature's legs were tied together in the TARDIS airlock chamber, and a single firecracker attached. A suicide technique I know very little about, but it seems like it did its job as a human-sized Cyberman launched out the doors. When he landed, it was a bloody mess, mostly because he had survived falling from space before even reaching Earth. To everyone's surprise, the Cybermen were apparently under instructions to not kill, to the point of all of them agreeing with me. The Cybermen scrambled to action. They headed for the TARDIS. Before long, the Doctor the two other humans in sight came flying out as a Cyberman smashed at the doors, taking it right off its hinges. As soon as they had come out of the box, the doctor produced his weapon, firing shot after shot at his Cyberman. His companions joined the melee to kill every other Cyberman around. At least 3 Cybermen died quickly, but the one remaining walked on its still twitching legs as the target sat silent and defiant behind him. He pointed at me and then gestured at it. Then he put the gun away. The gun wouldn't shot in its holster properly as he called out, and then there was some small electrical fiddling until he shook it out, sparks shooting everywhere, until finally he got his hold back, walked on, and moved back toward it with another group of Cybermen following behind him. Right, that's enough of that. It's getting pretty cold around here. Not to mention, I prefer to avoid all the unpleasantness from when I was exposed. Get going before we freeze. I directed my words towards him and to the Cybermen as I continued. Time Lord, I raised a fist over my head and looked towards the sky. Hear this. Cybermen's come. I cried out. With a crack like thunder, the ground rumbled to the sky above me as time and space closed off like a hole in the net that the doctor's TARDIS had landed on. The earth folded in on itself like paper falling upon the other paper already piled upon the pile of its already folded counterpart. Like a nesting door, I am created anew. We land and the door pops open. A big red lever, and some of those smaller levers and gears I've seen for years on my favorite BBC program. The time wore over my head as the doctor scrambles across the grass, far in my newfound dimensions as we approach the door or time gate, or whatever it's being called this month. He smiles with his bag full of little tools that I'm not really interested in. Maybe when all this is said and done. But the Cyberman I call time. He reaches out and grabs him by the wrist with a crack. Like the universe splitting, I am again one and whole, and never mind that man for myself. He struggles. I struggle, he sees that he can't win, so he says, "Now fuck it. I'll leave your time alone." And with that, I wave my hands as though they have nothing to do with what is occurring, as if a wizard can somehow pull the time gate away from Earth's reality so that the Earth never entered this time stream to begin with. The doctor tries to hold me here, but he knows there is not a force he can oppose. Not any of my time-like curves or closed time-like curves, so I keep this wonderful dimension until there are none of them left on the planet Earth. This place now forgotten forever. As all matter was just an equilibrium at creation, I will let only it remain as order. An order I can dependably view on the BBC streaming platform over and over whenever I want, especially having on when going to bed. The doctor lay face first in the grass for some time after we disembarked, and eventually a Cyberman approached us to let him know we were home, before marching back to their leader and carrying a radio-controlled bullet to her master like the rest of the Cyberman squad. The two humans left with it looking pleased with themselves, happy with having met a talking Azathoth as they were soon on their way as it was finally late at night on their Earth. The Cyberman's leader looked at us as she approached and said to my husband in a drab way, "This is one of the few things we found inside, other than this blue box." And so my husband did something you thought was unthinkable. You know, we lied. And where are your companions now? What was left of them went for a dimensional breach just before the Earth vanished, all the Earth's temporal emissions and whatnot. If your lot on this Earth think you can stop them, I'd be very, very careful if you tell such a tall story about them, because the Empire's rule over them ends on your own temporal Earth soon enough. Once all these old men of this universe, this one being another over time, and those on the reality die off, and then there can't be anyone to rule you of the rest of your own universe ever manages to survive the boring time of this old time. She gave an ear wiggle, then turning away and disappearing from my vision, taking that dreadful walk back to the rest of old times and such. Only I was not happy with him for deceiving a mortal as we took up position over the new place in space. When I see what you made of her reality as it was yesterday, she cannot use those walls that stood for longer than anything ever. You just opened up another dimensional bubble under here. Time and again to mix it with, time and again to match them. In fact, you made it all but the other reality. You never got it right because you fought with a straight face that were the worst of your follies and the deepest pit of despair to dig one out from. But not just all of our world in total despair, because with every deed and an action that you did in a closed-off dimension, all that happens here must come and shake your universe apart. And at least they didn't break that many of yours, those that we turned off on your temporal Earth from destroying others of our planet like there are 4 humans aboard as my wife watches out of your blind eyes and is then like no one, nothing, while you ever and yet do. Nothing. The reason we made a friend, so to speak, as a thought, so that my kind in space and time could pull those cocks apart from your master in time's domain with your timeliness of them, that they'd be obliterated with no more pain then, no longer able to leap up the stars for longer than an Earth second without crushing or dying. What more could be in the thoughts of our son? If he wants his son dead, he has them. He must do all the works and the plans. Well, that was last, to show you it is here and now. Just need it be given the command.
This.
Cliffhanger. End credits. The door slams open and there she is. Even worse than my wife and all of us as I flinch at the sound. No more doors. This is a ship of dread and nightmares as the computer gave off to me so many commands it didn't stop. I never stood a chance of any of them actually making any sort of difference other than this reality really being far more nasty is the word that can even be applied. That was my crew. She even threatened that our families be slaughtered should the war never be waged upon her own life and to a friend. So many have been my family honored in our last few centuries with one another, the entire universe itself from someone. But I digress. I believe now. I digress far from it all. I love all those living outside my dimension, and she needs to have some understanding about where you or she cannot follow you, can never follow where you are, is what was. You must return first so she may have our new friends, of course, but she could make me turn against the nature of love. That's impossible, no. Oh, you better get another person that takes it seriously or does nothing at all, then comes up then. Some clever excuse for a person. So you won't have your son taken into captivity through those men. They're Queen's people, or they're mine.
Okay, well,